play a game.
Simple is better.
Called One Gotta Go.
One gotta go.
Yeah, no,
Turn.
100%.
Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna just give you choices.
Oh, fuck.
Pick.
Oh fuck.
Here's what it is. First off, 2A versus the 76.
LA 2A versus 76 for cutting vocals.
For
Or
anything.
for anything. I'll use a 76. I love the LA 2A, but it's not as versatile.
Got you.
I have the attack and release with the 1176, and sometimes I need versatile. But I love the LA 2A too.
Got you. Okay.
Finally on the scoreboard. I'm Team 76.
I'm me
we
too.
been- we
and I
been
have a 2A at
76
home,
over
but
here.
I'm still 76.
It's
Like,
Team
yeah.
76.
It's fast. I like how fast it is.
Oh, new auto tune versus Evo auto tune.
Oh my god.
Don't even.
I knew it. Yo, because you know
it's
why?
not. It's really the. I'm not even gonna say too much, but it's like I get a lot of crashes and pops and clicks, and then I
hear
just rather
you.
use the old shit.
I hear, and you know, with Chris, you know, I always feel like that was a sound. Like that auto-tune had a certain sound. Like auto-tune 5 is a preset in the new auto-tune.
Yeah, you can put the
old-
classic mode.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
the
do that.
classic
That
mode.
actually gets rid of some of the pops and clicks. Putting it in
Interesting.
classic mode.
Right.
The algorithm is just better.
Right.
I don't know. I like it better. It's not that I'm like an old school guy. It's just
Right.
like I have less issues with that. And when
Interesting.
there's less issues with one thing, that means less issues in my fucking life.
What auto-tune are you gravitate to? Which one?
I really love, and I don't think it exists anymore to be able to actually use is Autotune Live. Like live, not the new live.
Not the
like
new live?
Live, where it said
Oh.
Autotune Live at the top and it was like the old screen.
Oh, wow.
I love that
With the
shit.
white
It's just
background.
super, no latency.
Oh my God.
No latency, nothing. Because the
Right.
thing is like, yeah, like all the GUIs being all cute and nice, like that's fun.
Right.
But when you're in the room and your adrenaline is rushing, I don't got time for the cute shit.
I need to get it done.
Give me the raw shit so I
Right.
can get this job done
Facts.
because the guy in the booth is not going to care about, oh, well, the new GUI causes a lot. Fuck that. Get
Right.
this shit recorded because I'm about to lose my vibe.
Right.
He knows what he's
So, you know what I mean?
We always
I used to-
champion that.
I used
But
to have that one
there's,
cracked,
it's not
bro.
that there's bad things. There's great things you can do with the new autotune. Like
Sure.
the format, that stuff didn't exist before.
Right.
That stuff is awesome. But in the heat of the moment, cutting a vocal, just that, the old one is better.
Wow.
For me.
For you. Yeah, right. For you, for right now. I always wanted to know that with his auto-tune. Like which one you like.
Yeah, but now we have
gravitate
to use the. I mean, like because of the whole license, the way it works, and shit, you
Yes.
kind of have to be on the new one, and I just deal with it the way I can deal with it.
Right.
Luckily, I'm not recording in it; I'm just mixing, so
Right.
I don't have someone in the booth pressuring me with
With
the
that.
recording process. Like
Right.
if something fucks up, restart the computer. It's just me and my assistant in there. I'm not tripping.
Right.
When you real quick, I'm so sorry. When you do record track via just your auto tune just for the tracking session, are there times in the mixing session where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna take this acapella, I have the original auto tune burnt in, but now I'm gonna bring it over here and maybe throw on pro and like pitch correct a little bit additionally?
With the autotune that I printed already on there.
Yeah, are there times you do that?
No, I've melodined.
Ah,
I'll melodyne stuff. People always say like, oh, you can't melodyne if there's autotune.
That's
I've done it.
I've done that.
Yeah,
I've done that.
I've
Especially
done
with
it.
Pro Tools. Are you using the new like the RA?
I have used it, but for the past, I've always done the plugin.
You've
thing.
had the plugin.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But I know that with the new one, it's been better than the track, which is
Yeah.
awesome. That's a
Right.
great feature.
Heck yeah.
But I like Melodyne because I think when I started to really use Melodyne, it was at a point where all the big guys, there was just Melodyne engineers. Like at one point, there was
That's
guys
true.
that only got paid to
do
Melodyne.
to pitch correct. That's true.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still exist
I hope
because of where we're at with I hope not. Where we're at with shit. But at one point, there was a guy like he would get paid $1,500 to fucking
Melodyne.
some shit.
That's
and he'd
crazy.
be there melodyne backgrounds back, and that would tweak me out.
That would
I'll
lose
be
my
honest.
mind.
Yeah,
Just,
I had
yeah, you know the
Yeah,
sound
fuck
when you
it.
hit a tight like note. It's like
Yeah. And my wife will be in the other room, and she'll be like, "Oh, you're melodyning, aren't you?" Because she's like, she's like, "Man, stop that shit."
That shit is hard. That shit is annoying. I feel you.
I ain't gonna lie though. No, I had a. That was necessary because I had a professor that when he taught us melodyning. Shout out Mr. Cooper.
Shout out
He was
Cooper.
nice,
Shout out
bro.
Coops.
Yeah, Cooper was nice.
He was nice with the melodyne.
Yeah, he was.
There was this girl in our class, man. I used to record her because he used to put us in groups. She could not sing, but he took her vocal, man.
And
he
he made it work.
He
She
made it
sounded
work.
like
That's
she sounded
crazy.
like Celine Dion or Whitney Houston.
Damn, Celine. God
that's
damn.
some work.
Celine?
That's some
Yo,
melodyne.
that's heavy. What's next?
Maybe Katy Perry, but
All right.
big studios versus intimate studios.
For the recording process, I do like the bigger studios because I have more space. For the mixing, I don't like bigger. I like intimate. Like my house is like a 10 by 15 room, 10 by 15. It's small.
Right.
I like a least amount of stuff in there. I'm like a simple guy. I don't like a lot of shit. I'm not a gearhead. Like that's why me and Baines are like complete opposites. He's a gearhead.
He is. I seen his room.
And like gear overwhelms me because recalls and this and like again when I'm dealing with. Can you do these notes? Can you do this? We got to deliver this today. Like I'm overwhelmed, right? So it's like, fuck, I forgot to do this, and I just sent it off to mastering, and I didn't do the recall on this, and it's like you lose your mind on that shit. So I keep my shit as simple as possible because when you're driving at 200 miles an hour, you need the least amount of weight.
Right.
Kind of like when you're
I
in
get
a car.
that. That was a bar. Can I please ask him something? I'm so sorry. Dude, so you use, and you're a user of the APB.
Yes.
Let me say this. The way people don't talk about it just blows my mind. Because it took me so long to even understand what the heck he created. Yeah. Like when I first was looking it up, I remember it came across my page and I seen you, Baines, both of y'all were talking about it. And I was like, wait, what? And I remember, and just for anybody that's trying to understand, basically it's like a way to have the power of digital and analog because you're getting hardware circuitry and all kind of stuff like that analog, but you're able to recall it with plugins that control everything. To me, that's still the most...
It's tough.
Like
and there's other companies that have that now, like Better Maker has it now and stuff like that.
Yeah, I seen it limited. Yeah, I seen it doing that.
But for example, with that, like I don't use that on every, like it's it's a finishing plugin for me. So after I've mixed the record and I feel like, okay, the vocal's just kind of popping out a little bit, I'll go on my vocal bus and I'll put it on and I'll get like a half a dB, maybe a dB of reduction. Okay. It's just a finisher for me. It's not like I have that on every fucking vocal.
Got you.
You know?
I seen you was talking about I don't know if it's the chicken head one?
Chicken head's the one that I use the most. I really don't use, and the L Moo, I'll put that on the bass and it just like saturates it a little bit.
Got you.
But the chicken head is the one that sets my vocals in because all of us kind of gravitate towards a plugin for a certain reason. Yeah. And for me, that's what I love it for and that's what works for me. For you might be like, man, on guitars, that shit's lit. I don't use it on guitars. Right. Everyone has it's a bias. Yeah.
Right. So chicken head kind of give you like that finishing touch on the vocal. You feel like just a little glue, little glue. Sitting like kind of
exactly
thing.
To sit in because sometimes the vocal after all the stuff you've done will still kind of pop out a little bit. Yeah. So you kind of sit it in a little bit with that.
Got you.
But I love that plugin for that.
Yeah, I remember I seen you bring it up and I was just so interested and I was like, how are you using it? Because you brought up chicken head and I heard you bring up the Moo too. And I was wondering how you're using it because I was like, obviously I don't have access to it because it's in the APB. Yes. So I was just like, damn, like I've seen you and Baines use APB plugins. Yeah. I remember it broke my heart because I remember looking up, he was using some EQ. It's like a mid-side EQ. It's blue and yellow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the mastering EQ that they make.
And he did a few moves and I was like,
Baines loves that shit though.
Yeah, he used it on everything.
That's the thing. That's the amazing thing about this is like me and Baines are like best friends and it's like we have completely different styles of mixing.
Wow, right.
Like we mix Offset's album and you can kind of tell between like you'll hear like a record that I mix like the vocal might sound a little clearer and on the vocal that he did or on the record that he did it might sound a little dirtier.
Interesting.
But it's a very little because we still kind of have our own ways of doing it but we had to come together,
compromise,
compromise. Yeah, exactly. Because we still had to be on the same damn project.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I mean?
It's the same project. Facts.
And it's all about compromising with this shit. From the demo to the collaborations, it's all about compromise. Because not one person knows everything.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
That shit is crazy.
Just out of curiosity, what are your near field choices?
For speakers?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's the PMCs, man.
I use the 6.2s. Those are my favorite.
Right.
Yeah, the 6.2s.
The 6.2s, yeah.
Yeah, those are my favorite speakers. And I literally, like, I'll be in another studio and be like, oh, listen to this. And I'll be like, oh, it sounds dope in here. Right. But I won't really know if there's any issues until I go to my room.
Got you, right.
And the other thing is the room, too. Because Tucci has the 6.2s in his studio, but his apartment has cement floors. My house, because it's a house in San Fernando Valley where I live, it's in suburb of LA. Right. Most of the houses there are built with crawl spaces underneath. Okay. So there's a 3 foot, that's not 3 feet. Gap. There's like a 3 foot gap where the piping and shit like that. So my studio is floated on wood floors. Right. So that low end booms through the house.
Wow.
To the point where like if I put like partition on from a Beyonce, it's boo.
Wow.
Bro, in the bass really is the loudest like in the kitchen.
Wow.
That's where the shit, everything is just shaking in there because the whole house is floated.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like for my room, the PMCs are perfect. When I go to Tucci's studio, I can't really listen to the PMCs.
And are you still using a sub with your PMCs?
I don't use a sub.
You don't?
I don't need a sub.
That throws me off.
Yeah, no, because the thing is, again, what does it need? Not what do you want?
Got you. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because we all want a sub.
Sure.
I want the sub. I want that shit to bang.
Right.
But if your room is giving you the response that you need, first of all, don't spend the money on something you don't need.
Right.
Exactly. So it's like, for me, the room was to the point where my low end on those speakers is down 4 or 5 dBs.
Wow.
If I put it at 0, it's unlistenable.
Right. It's a wrap.
Because the whole house resonates the bass so much.
Right.
You know, now I'm actually scared to move out of my house, and I'm thinking like if I move to a house, I got to make sure the floor is loaded.
Oh man,
because in Tucci's studio, for example, that low end does not pass through the floor. It doesn't give you the same response that it does in my room.
Interesting.
So although I use PMCs, to be honest, a lot of it is also my room.
Right.
It's like a 50-50 split between the two. Like my speakers don't sound good in every room. They sound good in my room.
Right.
And so I love that.
Right.
But if I hear it somewhere else, I may not love it.
Right.
You know, I might want a different set of speakers.
That too. And you got to learn, like you got to relearn the room.
Committing a fucking sin, but yeah.
I feel you. And I'm
learning
scared to
the
death
room
of
is
that.
everything. Because like people will be like, oh, this room needs to be like the walls can't line up. And fuck that. Does it sound good or not?
Right.
You know, and if it doesn't, put some treatment up, figure it out, have someone come in there and clap around.
I figured out. I learned my lesson one time, and shout out to Depp and Demetrius at $1 Million Snare.
Yeah.
I remember I was at their studio recently, and that video is coming soon, by the way. I did a tour of their studio and stuff like that in SAC, and I remember I was like, let me. You know, obviously I was in the room, I'm enamored. I'm like, wow, this is fucking amazing. And they had these Tyler acoustic speakers, really tall, like monitors. And I remember he was like, oh, you want to play a mix? And I was like, yeah, I think I do. So I said,
nervous on how it was gonna sound.
Oh my God, was I nervous? I was like, I know I'm gonna hear all the mistakes, all the problems. Cause that room is I really like the sound of that room.
It sounded,
I loved how it sounded. Cause we played other records. I played like the common record that I just know, like that tell me.
The records that you know from being growing up and shit.
Yeah, I'll play Players, which I need to talk to you about.
We can talk about Players.
It's just a bunch of those records. So I played my record, and immediately I was like, stop the record. I heard it. Like I heard all my mistakes. I was
immediately.
Hell yeah. But I told them, and I was serious. I was like, yo, this is a test mix because I'm trying to see. I was fighting with this mix in my room because I just rebuilt my studio. So I was like, I'm fighting with this mix. Play this. Then I played another mix, and it was great in that room. And I was like, oh, okay. And I took that mix and said, here's my rubric. Exactly. Here's my standard.
You need a point of reference.
Yes.
If you don't have a reference point, there's no way. You're in space. You're floating in space. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. I don't know shit.
You know what else we need?
What we need?
I think we need audio engineers, MTV Cribs. Because the way he was talking about his room, I'm like,
and my wife got my house looking fire. Because I got clients coming over, so I got to have I got my plaques up. We got the nice decorations everywhere. We got some art pieces and shit like that. So like when you go in my house, like you're like, damn, this is fire.
This is fire. Like it's fly and shit like that.
Yeah, because you don't want people to come over there and they've already put you like, oh, this is this mixer, like da da da. And you go in there, it's a fucking rat's nest.
And you're like, oh my bad, walk over there.
Like when you go in my shit, like there's not nail on the table and cups out. Like everything is clean, and that's my wife keep it clean. We got the Roomba.
Facts.
10 times a day. That bitch always going. Sometimes I trip over it like, damn, bitch, you're always in the way.
I couldn't find one for Black Friday, by the way. I was trying to get one.
You gotta get the shark one. That's the best
shark
one.
one?
The shark
okay,
one
because there's so many. I was scared. I didn't know. Shark?
That's the best
Say
one.
less. Thank you.
I'm on my second shark. The first one killed himself because the first one wasn't that smart. Now it's smarter. This motherfucker would drive over anything and fuck himself up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta get one. I'm trying to get one now.
My Appliance Nerds. Coming soon to
My Appliance Nerds. Let's get it.
Coming soon to the Audio Nerds Network, the MTV Cribs, the audio cribs.
I'll be so dead you do that.
It's lit.
You had a question for him? Because I'm going to ask him.
Still on one gotta go.
Because I still got to ask him the question that I literally brought him
when I went to the back.
We got to
got it.
Let's end it with that because I think
go ahead.
that's gonna be a nice combo.
Yeah, do you think?
One gotta go.
Okay.
Waves, Isotope, Acoustica.
Waves, Isotope, Acoustica. Now, no fucking shade, 'cause I love Acoustica, but I use Waves and Isotope way more than Acoustica.
True.
Acoustica is amazing.
Yeah.
The issue that I was finding is obviously power.
Oh my God.
What I say, it's the same. It's the same.
When I use
around the
Acoustica,
block.
I'm not like, if I put an EQ on a vocal, right? I can't put 30 Acousticas on a session.
Yeah, no.
So I kind of use it sparingly.
Right.
You know, and because I use it sparingly, I find myself using more Waves and Isotope.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
I could live without acoustic. I can't live without Isotope, especially because you're talking about Neutron 3, you're talking about the Neutron compressor.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I fight with him on that because he laughed at me. We did like a one gotta go with Waves. I think it was Waves and Isotope. Or we had to pick like our trifecta.
Oh yeah, pick our
It was like Fat Filter, Isotope, Waves. Long story short, I put Isotope at the front, and they were like, "What?" I was like, "Fam, I'm telling you, what Isotope offers me, I can't find anywhere else."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I keep telling them that.
Those three you just named, FabFilter, Waves, and Isotope, are
the
most used plugins that I use because I'm simple with shit.
Yeah.
People just do too much and they overthink too much and like, I saw this guy use this plugin. Yeah, well, he was using it on that song.
Right.
That's not this song.
Right.
So that's the big mistake that people make is they think they see someone use something on one thing and they think that applies to everything
else. Right.
And it's not. I use the Soothe differently for different songs and I use the R-Comp different ratios for different songs.
Right.
It's not just one ratio works for everything because it doesn't.
I mean, since y'all want to talk for it, then for both of y'all, Waves or Isotope, man, one gotta go.
One gotta go.
Yeah.
One gotta go. Okay. Oh fuck. Okay. If I can keep FabFilter because we're not talking about FabFilter,
That's a
we can
fact.
get rid of
Facts.
get rid of Waves
Copy.
because I can do with FabFilter and Isotope.
Yeah, right. Because I feel like I got my EQ. I got Pro Q3. I am good. Like I'm so good.
And
at an
C2.
EQ.
The C2 compressor. Do not sleep on that shit.
A lot of people do.
I use it on pretty much every track has a C2 on there. If I'm
Interesting.
compressing or the R comp, if I'll switch it up because sometimes I'll be like, man. Am I just using this plugin too much? I'll just use the R comp really quick.
Right.
But
Just
if
to
I
break it
could,
up.
I would just use the C2
Like,
on
fuck that.
everything. Yeah, because
That's
it's so
crazy.
versatile.
Right.
Yeah. It's so versatile.
Yeah, I like that you can, it's the one compressor. I like that you can change the modes. Like you can do like
Yes.
vocal mode or like, because he put me onto it a while ago and he wasn't the biggest fan.
I'm
He
not.
always was like, I'm not the biggest fan
Hey,
of C2.
listen, but y'all about
I've
to
used
see
it and
it.
I liked it.
I'm about
It
to say
just
y'all
moved-
about to see it in 4K. Teezio just said that a lot of the records be having the Pro C on it. Your boy might have
the
to.
the last compressor on all of Chris vocals is a C2.
Is the Pro
Is a
C.
C2.
It's that last one doing 4 or 5 dBs of compression.
Right.
What
to
I-
keep
But
it-
it doesn't sound squash. If you listen to Chris
Exactly.
vocals, they sound
Right.
dynamic.
It does.
But I'm doing 4 to 5 dBs of compression on some records.
Interesting.
Which I was about to ask you then, if that's the case, what algorithm on the Pro C are you
Facts.
using?
To be honest, I just leave whatever the fuck.
Really?
That's hard.
You just load it
Whatever.
up?
I don't change too much. Like
Right.
there'll
I
be
feel you.
occasionally where I'm like, oh, put the punch on there or whatever. But
Yeah.
like for the most part, I'm pretty like basic with shit.
Interesting.
Like I'll change the ratio, I'll change the attack and the
Yeah,
release, and I'll change the threshold. But for the most part, like I don't really mess. If I need to mess with it, I'll know because it's telling me,
Hey.
I need to mess with this. But if it's not, then why go out of your way to overthink shit? Oh, well, I saw this guy, he messes with all this stuff, so I need to mess with all this. Like what he does doesn't mean you have to be yourself.
Right.
Be your damn self.
Yeah,
Come on,
facts.
no, we gotta say it again.
Spitting.
Be yourself.
Be your damn
Yourself.
self.